The guy to my left blind shoved over $5,000 at 2-5. What started off as a normal 2-5 game quickly devolved into blind shoving thousands of dollars every single hand, and I happened to film it.
Like a healthy poker player, I wake up early at 4 p.m. and head to the casino. It's not every day, but today we were feeling ambitious. At billiards, you get ID'd at the door, and I don't look a day over 14, so it's a miracle I made it past, but we end up heading over to the poker room. Upon entrance, I was told, yo, buddy, we have no 2-5 seats available, and I was like, come on, dog! So I plop down at 1-3 and wait for a 2-5 seat to open up. Oi, in this hand, bloke's got queen 10 of hearts, the button straddle to 5, and both the blinds limp. So I raised that bitch up to 30 bucks. The cut off in both the blinds call, so we go 4 ways to a flop in it. Dog piss. We got no hopes, bloke. Action checks to me, and bruv, it's 1-3, bruv. Are they gonna fold? No, I'm not really inclined to bet into 3 people. Find a check fold for once in my goddamn life. I check, and the cut off checks as well, so we go 4 ways to a turn. Surely Elizabeth rises from the grave. It's a goddamn queen. Aye, we improved the top pair. What a beautiful sight, innit? Action checks to me, and surely we're going to place a bet. I toss out 30 bucks. Trying to get value from spade draws, maybe 6-4, but it's still possible someone has a 5. And sure enough, the small blind check raises to 115. Now I want to punch myself in the throat. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with the weird acts.
I've been watching too much Hustler Casino. I make the call. I'm like, this guy has to be screwing with me, not taking into account that he's 80 years old and never bluffing. We go off to a river card, which peels off another 3, and now this guy bets $300, which is an entire 1-2 buy-in, mind you. When people are betting huge amounts with really no hesitancy, it's normally just a very strong hand.
I looked up at him and I was like, Grandpa, are you bluffing me? He looked back over at me and he's like, son, would I ever do that to you? I said, no, Grandpa. That's right, son. You don't got shit. Fold your cards. And sure enough, the small blind shows the 5 of clubs. Had us drawing dead to rights. The shit show continues as we look down at ace 10 of hearts in the small blind. There's a button straddle on. I raised it up to $25, and middle position and the button make the call. Going 3 ways to a flop of 10-8-6 rainbow. Oh, Corey, we have best pair, top kicker, bat dude, we have the best hand. Buddy, I'm all for putting money in the middle, trust me, but we're out of position against 2 players. I think this is a board that's generally better for the pre-flop callers. I think if I check, it's going to look like I have ace high and someone could try to steal it. Or value bet with a worse hand, like Jack 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 7, 6. All of these hands are probably going to bet when checked to. So for that reason, I decided to get a little tricky and check. And sure enough, the button throws out a bet of $25. I think you can go either way between calling or raising. I think there's plenty of value to be had from any weaker 10, any pair plus straight draw. So I decided to put in a check raise to $100. Middle position looks at me like I have 6 heads and quickly folds his cards, but the button does no such thing. After thinking for a while, the button decides to make the call. Going off to a turn card, which peels off a duck. Quackity quack, bitch, that is a brick. The button only has around 115 behind, so really only one move for me to do here. I go all in and get snap called. That is never a good sign. I flip over my hand, and sure enough, the button flips over 6 deuce of spades. He called with bottom pair on the flop and drilled 2 pair in my mouth on the turn.
It's 4 in the morning while I'm editing this, but I have very exciting news. I'm going to be hosting a virtual meetup game on Poker Bros. Poker Bros is completely free to download. It's a free app. This video isn't sponsored, by the way. I've been playing Poker Bros for a long time. Click the link in the description if you would like to play. catch some virtual punts, and hopefully I'll see you on the felt.
In the same orbit, I pick up 2 ducklings under the gun. I release 3 red birds into the pond, and only the button makes the call. Going off to a flop of 9-5-3, 2 spades, and a heart. I think this player's going to have a lot of hands that completely whiff on a board like this, like King Queen, King Jack, King 10, random Ace X, Queen X, all of that stuff that has no business seeing a turn card. With that being said, I think pocket 2s are actually going to be the best hand a decent percentage of the time here. I put in a C-bet of $15. The button is not done with it quite yet, as he makes the call. We go off to a turn card, which peels off another 9. That is actually a great card, because it makes it a lot less likely he has one, and way more likely that he has a flush draw. However, I think it'd be easier to check call rather than check and face a raise, so I just decide to check. He checks it right back, and we go off to a river card, which peels off the 2 of spades. What an absolute miracle. This is by far the best card of the deck, because not only do we make a full house, he probably makes a flush. I think this opponent is only calling the flop with a 9 or a flush draw, and considering he checked back the turn, I think anyone, regardless if they have a brain or not, would say ooga booga, 3 9s, money in the middle. That makes sense to me, probably makes sense to him. So we can eliminate that. He probably has a flush draw, which now improves to a flush. Let's go for a check raise. I decide to check. The button does not, and throws in a bet of $25. We love to see it. I decide to kick it up to $125. Looking at the board again, I guess he could have 6-4, which also improves to a straight. That would make a lot of sense. But anyways, after thinking for a minute, the button decides to fold, and I would like to put my head through drywall. Nonetheless, we scoop in the pot, and I really wanted to get all of it. Not gonna lie to you. If you saw my last video, you know how I feel about fishing. Don't ask questions. Anyways, we look down at the hooks once again. Under the gun limps, I raise to $20. The small blind, big blind, and under the gun limper make the call. Going 4 ways to a flop of 10-9-3 rainbow. We have an overpair, plenty of hands to get value from, any 10, any 9, any straight draws. And our J's could use some protection from any Q, K, or A. Those would be not great turn cards. For all these reasons, I decide to place a bet of $40 straight into the middle. The 2 blinds fold, but under the gun makes the call. Going heads up to a turn card, which peels off the 7 of hearts. This is a card that interacts with his range a lot better than it does mine. So from a theoretical perspective, I actually like a check here. But I got this feeling in my gut that I still had the best hand. I feel like he has a hand like 9-8 or 8-7 because he limp called under the gun. I don't know if you're great at math, but 10, 9, 8, 7, that's 4 cards. You need 5 for a straight. However, both of those are open-ended straight draws. Wow, wild concept. They're probably going to call another bet. So, I'm going to bet once again. I throw out $110. Under the gun immediately check jams. $412. Oh, God. I'll be right back while I throw up in a bucket. Immediately after he jammed, I'm thinking, why did I not just check? He could easily have 10-7 or 9-7, or he could have 10-9, Jack 8, 8-6. There's just, oh. What are the hands we're beating? All of the pair plus open-ended straight draws that we mentioned, and he could have also picked up hearts. We don't have a heart, and now there's a backdoor flush draw, so maybe a hand like Queen 9 or King 9 of hearts, stuff of that nature. I don't know, dude. My gut was telling me I had the best hand, which is why I bet in the first place. So, facing the all-in, even though it's scary, I closed my eyes and listened to my gut, dude. Call. What do you have, dude? I don't care. Let's see a river card, which peels off the Queen of Spades. This guy doesn't seem thrilled. He flips over 10-8 offsuit. Phew! Pocket jacks do indeed hold.
I'm going to use the money that I won in this pot to go buy a new pair of underwear.
It was around this point where I got called for the 2-5 game. The guy I stacked from last hand is actually a vlog watcher, and he jokingly said, "Oh, you're gonna double up and then leave?" I looked at him and said, "Yep, taking her money and getting the hell out of here. I'm going home." We rack it up and move 15 feet to the left. I sit down at the 2-5 table, and all hell breaks loose. The player to my left, we're gonna call him Mr. Racks. Deserving nickname because he has racks on racks on racks. Money coming out the ass, he simply doesn't care. This guy's been drinking all day. The thing about me and alcohol, I have very low tolerance. One shot and I'm white girl wasted. So Mr. Racks hands me a Jaeger bomb. I throw it down the hatch like it's water. And within 15 minutes, the game is off the rails. I have ace queen of clubs in the cutoff. I opened to $40 over a straddle. And the button goes all in for $1,000. Yep, 2, 5, 10, 40, 1,000. Any other player I snap fold, but against this guy, I have basically the nuts. I make the call, and we go off to a flop against 10-9 offsuit. My phone actually ran out of storage at this point, so the flop came 2-4-4, turn 4, and the river, I don't even remember what it was. All I know is we scoop a $2,000 pot.
I just lost $1,000 for you not to record it?
Correct.
Oh my.
We wait 2 minutes later and look down at the hooks. I open to $20, and the cutoff puts in a 3-bet to 130. Well, based on the title, based on the environment, I think you know what's happening here.
It's good for content.
For the content. All in.
Call.
Okay.
We're going off to yet another run out with over $2,000 in the middle, and once again, he has 10-9 offsuit. We're in really good shape, but none of that matters when the flop comes 10 high and the turn is a 9.
You're fucked. I'm so sorry, Corey.
Oh my god, that's so gross.
We get put to rest. Our bankroll is in shambles, in the grave. How the f*** does this happen? Point Mr. X. The game is 1-1. Legit next shuffle, we look down at King 10 of clubs in the hijack. The low jack limps, and I raise to $35. Half expecting Mr. X to just shove it all in. Unfortunately, he folds, the low jack calls, and we go heads up to a flop of dog piss. The low jack bets, and I liked it when we got all the money in pre-flop. This is a much more boring game, so I just fold. 3 hands later, I'm not joking, I look down at King Jack offsuit in the small blind. The button limps, and I raise to $30. The big blind, you guessed it, puts in a 3-bet to 150. Dude, I have king high against the guy who's playing pretty much any 2 cards. In any other circumstance, this is probably just a fold, but we're holding a piss missile. I go all in. I've been here for 30 minutes, and this game quickly devolved into 2 drunk idiots shoving it all in for thousands of dollars and 6 other people watching. What is going on?
Don't do this. Why are you doing this?
Send me home, straight into the pisser.
Oh God, it sounds like your YouTube channel, which isn't suffer.
Mr. Rax flips over Queen Jack offsuit, and he's like, dude, I have no idea what to do here. I call. We go off to a flop, and I'm like, just give the guy a queen. Just make it happen. Flop comes 6 high, turn 4, and river is a queen. No, it's a 10. We win. I was very much expecting to go home, but instead, we rake in $1,000. Name a swingier 2-5 game. I'll give you all night. Bet you can.
I accept Venmo, PayPal, everyone will just...
Oh my God, I'm gonna smack that smile off with this.
No, it's not this big. It's not this...
You can actually tell that these hands are back to back to back by looking at the button. It moved 1 spot and we're going... It's so fucking crazy.
We look down at ace 9 of hearts on the button. Mr. Rax, every time he loses, he's like, ow, fuck, chips. He reloads for the max, guy gives him $1,000, and it's square. So that process happened in the matter of 15 seconds. Once again, I opened at $25, and Mr. Rex says, I'm all in.
Bruce.
All in.
Okay.
Asshole.
All right.
Let me in, coach.
For $1,000, dude. Action folds back to me, and if we're going all in with King High, you best believe I'm shipping it in there with a suited ace. He's only 2 cards, dude. Ace High is a fucking missile. I call. What do you want me to do? Flop comes Jack 8-7. Mr. Rax, gets very giddy and excited at this flop, and I'm like, oh, shit. He flips over Queen Jack offsuit. However, the turn is a 5 of spades, meaning any 6, 10, or ace will give us the winning hand. Poker gods, I don't ask for much. I really don't. Please, one time, can you let us get there? Let's see anything, and it's a brick. And we lose a $2,000 pot. Poker giveth, poker taketh. We are going back to the drawing board. It was around 1 a.m. at this point, and that's when Boston Billiards closes. The table closed down. I was like, no, please, floor. Imagine you go up to a hot girl at the club, and you're hitting it off, and you're vibing, and you're probably going to take her home and get lucky. Just kidding. Her fat friend comes up next to you and says, fuck off, lad. That's how this feels. Best game in the world, shut down prematurely. We lose like $600 on the night. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the crazy... I don't even know what happened in this video. Goodbye.